Hello there, everybody. It is me, No Name Moment 7 and today I am joined by
Oh, you're talking to me.
yes,
Uh, and joined by many miles away.
yeah. Um, I will probably need to plug your YouTube channel down below, but like you have way more subscribers than me, so like I don't know how much you'd benefit from this.
A
I
few,
eh,
a couple,
yeah, a lot of
more
older
than
war.
two.
That's overestimating it.
Yes, more
One if
than
you're
two.
lucky.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he does like or he does or did.
I mean,
Um,
I still do videos.
okay.
Uh, these days the production value uh requires me to take my time with it, and I don't produce videos anywhere near as much as I used to anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I've got other things that need to get done in the real world, so
Like
uh
you
yeah,
know,
I've got a job and I've got school that I do,
yeah.
so
And a
those things come first.
job very pertinent to this game.
Indeed, yeah. Um, Not very many people can say this, but I work on a battleship, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
you got the Ryan Szymanski treatment. No,
a little bit. Um,
not to that same
uh,
extent, but
definitely nowhere near as popular as Ryan Szymanski, but um, I work on the battleship Iowa National Museum of the Surface Navy. Um, and I work there as an education guide. So essentially, what I do is I work with the various as part of the education department's mission. We work with a lot of the local schools in the greater Los Angeles area, specifically Los Angeles Unified School District, and they bring kids from the lower income schools that can't afford their own STEM programs to us, so we fulfill their STEM requirements. And so I give tours there to these kids, and we give them a bunch of cool science experiments to do, teach them how ships float, how projectile motion works, etc.
okay.
It's a great time. And then on the weekends we usually do an overnight program where various groups, usually Boy Scouts of America, or Scouts of America, I think it's called now, um, will come aboard overnight and they'll sleep on the ship, and we'll give them a more in-depth tour. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, sure sounds it. Um, at some point, I probably do need to make my way down to over to California and visit Iowa. Only I've been on her sister, Wisconsin, over in Virginia,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's pretty cool that first of all, it's extremely rare for any one class of ship to I think it's actually unheard of for any other single class of ship to be all museum ships. And it just so happens that that all four Iowa class battleships that were ever built are all museums now, as of 10 years ago.
yeah,
Um, So obviously you have USS Iowa, where I work. You've got USS New Jersey, USS Missouri, and USS Wisconsin, and all of them are museums, and they're all fantastic museums in their
yeah.
own way.
I kind of think that's partly because you know, there was a little bit of, I guess, luck involved that the Iowas served so long, and obviously it's like, oh, suddenly it's the late '90s, early 2000s. There's these four battleships that served in World War II that have only just been retired. You know,
Yeah, the Iowa was retired, or was put into mothball in 1990. She was decommissioned in 1990, or 1992, somewhere around then. Um, and she sat there in mothball for 20 years. Uh, because she was in this weird position where she was too expensive for the Navy to operate. She was extremely manpower intensive.
yeah,
Um, and if they wanted to bring her back into service, they would have had to spend almost more than the cost of the ship to like rejuvenate her again. And that would have been the fourth time they would have done this.
yeah,
Um, and so if there were several companies essentially, or nonprofit organizations. Companies is the wrong word. Nonprofit organizations that put in bids to acquire the Iowa and turn her into a museum ship, and the Pacific Battleship Center won the bid. And they took possession of Iowa. Basically gave her a new fresh coat of paint, went through the ship, made sure that the ship was actually safe for guests. And then in 2011, or 2012, actually, I believe it was, they towed her from San Francisco Bay all the way down to the port of Los Angeles, and they brought her into her current berthing in San Pedro. um, Now I'll go into more details about this later, but we are currently in a transition period now because as of a couple of years ago, we were designated by both Congress and President Biden as the National Museum of the Surface Navy, or of the
Oh,
Surface Fleet. I can never remember which one. Um, and as a result of that, there's going to be a bunch of new construction, a bunch of new exhibits, a bunch of new stuff that we're doing. Um, and ultimately, what we're planning on doing is actually moving the ship um, from its current berthing to a new berthing area, which is only about a mile, 2 miles down the lock, basically. Um, and on the dock side, we're actually going to be building a National Museum of the Surface Navy,
oh, that's cool.
with the Iowa being the centerpiece.
Yeah,
So
that'd be really. It'll also be really interesting to see her move again.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
like the
hoping
videos
that
of
if I
Texas.
stick around the next couple of years, then I'll get a chance to go for a ride on a battleship, which very few people can say they've done.
Yeah, that would be an amazing experience. I'd love to have that. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Try to stay there. Try to get that. Honestly. Um.
yeah. It's going to depend on a few things, but assuming things go well and I stick around for a while, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. 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 Do it if you can. Do it. Uh. So. I think the intro has now gone on a little longer than expected. Yeah. Because I mean, Miles is probably the best guess I've had so far. So.
Well, it helps to know how to speak publicly, but
Yes. Like yeah, you're both a more successful YouTuber than me and have a job on a battleship. You know,
yeah,
you'd be
it's funny too because the question I often get is like, how the heck did you land that kind of a job? And I wish I could say that it was like this great and wonderful story, but it was really a matter of, hey, I went to that battleship about 10 years ago. I wonder if they're hiring. And I just so happened to look at the right time, and they were looking for education guides, and I figured, well, that's close enough. I would have liked to do tours, but that's close enough to what I want to do, right? And so I applied, and lo and behold, I got the job a couple of weeks later.
oh yeah.
Um, and so I've been doing it for the last 7 months, and it has by far been the most fun I've ever had doing a job. Like I honestly don't feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm going to a playground. Like I feel like I'm like a fat kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
uh, it there's that old saying, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, and that's pretty much how I feel right now. Like I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm playing.
Yeah, okay, that's great. God
Um,
damn. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I wish we had much in near Chicago. I guess I guess we
well,
have a
I mean,
U-boat.
yeah, I mean, I've been to the U-boat
Uh,
at the Chicago Science Museum.
yeah. Museum of Science and Industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I saw that exhibit. Oh, I think it was in 2017. My father took me to Chicago, took me to downtown Chicago because he was going on a business trip there and he was going to be in meetings the whole time. But he just said, "Hey, you want to go and visit Chicago and just walk around downtown for a bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure. What the heck? I'm not doing anything." Um, But yeah, we went and saw the U-boat, and that was an incredible experience. I really enjoyed that.
I need to go back and see that again. Be cool. That's a good museum of science and industry.
Oh yeah, just in general.
Loved it as a kid, and yeah, no, yeah, that's great. Uh, all right, so we're 10 minutes in, and now I finally get to the current situation. Is we're at war with Austria, Britain, and America, with Russia as the ally. Um, and if you real briefly notice, during that whole conversation, I did decide to do a refit to the escort carrier converted 1892 armored cruiser Decisive
Hmm.
to try to get her updated because right now she is in dry dock for repairs after striking a mine.
Oh, well, I guess now's about as good a time as any to refit
Yep,
her.
yep. So she'll get better anti-aircraft guns and dual purpose main anti-aircraft fire control upgrade, and I added some little biplane graphics on her. I
Looks good.
yeah, had to kind of custom make those biplane graphics earlier, but yeah, she's good.
Very nice.
And I think this will be slightly cheaper than actually just repairing her, which is weird. The game
Uh,
allows for that, but
So you've
yeah,
got three, no, five CVLs,
yes. And
and
CV,
then one CB. Okay,
yes. And the CV like literally just completed a rebuild.
I see.
Yeah, this war caught me very, very off guard and in the middle of a building program. And the carrier as well as one of the heavy cruisers were kind of the two things I prioritized to get done with that building program.
Hmm.
Um, and the cruiser Duquesne is about to commission. These are all halted, but the priority right now would be getting the Duquesne class cruisers out because the Joffreys are basically carrier fodder, and Charnay would need to immediately go into a refit again and then another time to actually become good. So
Is there a
these are
specific reason you haven't scrapped it?
uh well, she'd still be a new ship. The thing with Charnay is that there's a very specific rebuild I want to try to do to some of my older armored cruisers, and I'm using Charnay as basically the test bed for it.
I see.
So, yeah. But she'd be useless in war right now. She'd need two refits to actually be useful. Maybe one refit to be useful, but two ideally.
Right.
And you know, realistically she'd be like for adding in that extra refit, that's probably, still like a year out.
Hmm.
Um so that's why she's not getting built. Um Yeah, and the Duquesne class cruisers are being prioritized because these would actually be battle ready upon completion. I also got a bunch of corvettes building because guess who has submarines? Guess who's
Boy.
building submarines?
Oh wow, that is a.
Yeah.
Wait, was Britain building 67 submarines?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, what has happened is the AI has gone, oh god, the battle fleet's dead, we are being blockaded, better use the German approach.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to spam ASW corvettes, as well as get more destroyers built, because I've taken destroyer losses and I didn't have enough destroyers when going into the war.
Hmm.
Which means, smaller, cheaper destroyers and more of them.
Right.
But yeah, the current goal, the two goals right now are eliminate the two British battleships, the Centurion, which has miraculously survived her last battle, as well as the newly commissioned battleship Renown.
Okay.
That's one goal, but the primary goal right now is to deliver a decisive defeat to the Austro-Hungarian navy and really effectively knock them out of the war. In
Right.
terms of ships I'm actually worried about, their lead dreadnought's okay, a little slow, very slow.
Fizzled.
Not very well armored, but good, decent armament. They do have some decent battle cruisers. Actually, that's a reasonable
Really
battle cruiser.
nice. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
A 20 knots, 10.5 inch
Sure.
belt. That's not as good. This is like a slow Congo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then these are like, oh god, that's like what? Oh, Von der Tann.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's der Tann. But these are what, an upgunned renown basically. Upgun, up armored renown. Yeah. These are scary. Um, so, the current idea is to try to deal with, try to deal with the Carntons. I guess the good news is that at the very least, Toulouse and Corbeil would be superior.
Mhm.
But, they got four of them, and my next best after that is only 8 14-inch. Actually, that might be equivalent to 6 16-inch, but yeah, little little worrying
Mhm.
in that regard. I don't think I have any more construction I got to do. I don't think I have. Oh, I have a couple more things which I need to assign commanders to. Oh, third cruiser doesn't even like exist right now, so probably should not. Probably put a contra admiral in control, so like that guy. Okay, that's good. I manually do all the admiral work.
Yeah.
Um, I think most people who play this game don't.
Uh, I think for the divisions, I did my own admirals as well.
Okay, but I also like manage them for the ships, and I've also realized how to remove an admiral from a ship without, or a captain from a ship, I should say, um, without actually losing any prestige points.
Got it.
So, um, I think we can go into battle, or see what battles we get. Nope. Britain's invading Madagascar. The U.S. is invading the Antilles. Small engagement. Enemy. Austria-Hungary. Western France. They've accepted. Wouldn't be surprised if Britain joins them though. But
Yeah.
not what I expected. Okay, Russia's joined us though.
That's nice.
Ah, it's cruisers. Get Shroud class, which aren't great, not great, not terrible. Outdated. Okay, so what was I gonna try to bring up um with the whole I don't know, I want to ask you more about the whole museum stuff. I'm just trying to think of a good way to do it. Museum ship stuff
Ask,
with Iowa.
ask away. I'll see if I can give you an answer.
I'm trying to think of a good question right now. Um, hold on, I should be going squad max here. Why was I not? Yeah, what would I? Either about that or about the YouTube stuff, but I don't know. I guess it just depends on where the conversation leads.
Well, I mean, I'm working on another video currently
Oh, that's good.
regarding combat mission. It's another after action report. It's an interesting
Okay.
one because it's not specific to any of the normal combat mission titles. I was actually given access to the professional edition of Combat Mission, which is used by the British Ministry of Defense.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting.
and it's got some features and units that was specifically requested by the MOD. Uh,
Okay.
and
It's
they made
cool.
some pretty interesting quality of life additions as well that I really wish would come to the commercial edition, but probably aren't going to.
Okay, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been cool to play around with some stuff that's not normally available. Specifically, in this case, for people who don't know, Combat Mission is a tactical battle simulator. It is meant to reflect and model uh, battlefield psychology for individual soldiers, as well as model actual unit formations and encourage the use of real world tactical employment and doctrinal employment of your units.
Yeah.
It's not like Company of Heroes or even like or even Men of War. Um, Men of War, you sort of pick and choose what units you wanna bring to a fight. Uh, Whereas in Combat Mission, you are given, say, a company-sized element, and you are given the company organization, or also known as the TO&E, Table of Organization and Equipment. So a company has three platoons of 4 squads each, etc., with an HQ team and communications C2, etc. I can go on and on about it. The point is, um, the professional edition of Combat Mission adds in a couple of units which are not available in the normal commercial versions. One of them being the brand new U.S. Army Stryker Dragoon units.
Okay.
Um, they're the I think it's Second Cavalry Regiment in Eastern Europe has just recently been given Stryker Dragoons, and the Stryker Dragoons differ from the standard Strykers in that they've got an unmanned 30 mm autocannon turret on the top of the Strykers that doesn't take up any space within the vehicle, so the APCs don't lose any of their dismounts. They
Okay.
they they carry the maximum. They carry the same amount of soldiers, but they can defend themselves against BMPs. Um, in addition, another upgrade that they came up with was sticking javelins onto the Crow's J remote weapon systems. Um, so now the vehicles can conduct their own anti-armor overwatch without having to dismount their infantry and leave a portion of their infantry behind with a javelin
Oh,
when they're maneuvering.
that's a good approach.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and uh, it dramatically increases the anti armor capabilities of the unit. So that's gonna be a fun video whenever that comes out.
Yeah, that'll be great. You should make Rule of Waves content. No.
I mean, it's occurred to me, but I'd have to figure out a way to make it more flashy personally.
Yeah.
But
Probably a lot of editing, and I mean, these series take a while. This is episode 63 of this one. It's
oh boy,
1927. I'm like, what, 37 years in? About halfway through. Probably less than halfway through.
Mhm.
And I think stuff gets even more chaotic when you're deep into the carrier age.
Yeah, that and at least in the 1 or 2 games that I've played, uh, that and the Missile Age is when things start getting real crazy.
Oh god, the weather's gone bad. I think we have lost that enemy cruiser formation, so I'm just gonna sail away. I actually, oh, I should have mentioned that. I probably should have mentioned that on video. Well, okay, they publicly posted it in Discord, so I can probably mention it in the video. I do know that at one point, fairly recently, developers and Matrix were kind of asking about, what are YouTubers that a lot of people like watch, like where it seemed like sort of like where could they promote the game sort of thing,
I
and
see.
we're asking around for that. So I don't know if you'd be at all interested in that or not, but
I'd be down.
okay.
But they can just get in contact with me either through Discord or they can send me an email.
Yeah, I could try to message William about that after after this is recorded. It should be noted. Oh my God, I forgot to say. Yeah, this is going live July 4th. I probably should have told you that beforehand. So happy July 4th, everyone. I'm shooting off
Yay!
those fireworks.
I
We're,
still have no idea what I'm gonna be doing. for July 4th. Uh, we're recording this a couple days
Yeah,
before then.
yeah.
Um,
July.
so
It's late July 2nd, so you got like 2 days to decide, kinda.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, if nothing else, maybe what I'll do is I'll just go and hang out on the battleship for July 4th. I got like I I could do a lot worse than that. Like,
start. I would say start shooting fireworks off the battleship, but pull the what is it? The plugs on the guns out, put fireworks in them, and then shoot them out again. No.
yeah.
How
Well,
in are the plugs on or, or the
they're
turret
like
caps? Not caps. What are
yeah,
they?
the
Gun
muzzle
caps.
caps they're pretty well secured in place.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to just pull them off. If they wanted to remove them, I think the general process of what they generally do if they're going to remove those caps is they actually pressurize the gun barrels and it just pops the cap off.
Oh.
Um, but currently it's like they are in there solidly, and I think they're like uh not loctited. There's like like a what's the term that I'm looking for? I'm gonna say glued, but that's not the right word. Glued in place.
Huh.
So that way guests can't try and take them off and like stuff trash down the barrels or something like that.
That.
Unfortunately, when it comes to a museum, you have to always worry about the lowest common denominator,
Yes, that would be true.
and
Oh
so
god.
people will do stupid things. Um, like for example, one weird thing you would never think about that people would take is the sound powered phones
Ooh.
on board the ship, like all like the brass fittings and everything. People think it's like gold or something, and so they'll like unscrew it and they'll take it.
Oh god.
And so like all for example, like all of the phones, like even if they're not connected to anything along the tour route, are literally screwed in place. You can't remove them from the handle.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, people can be selfish pricks at times.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. Like when you're dealing with the lowest common denominator, people are going to take stuff.
Yeah. Oh hey, Duquesne's is done. Hooray! I have a new cruiser and
uh,
I think I have a captain for. I think I have a captain for her too. Ooh, I'm trying to think. Do I stick that in first or like? Okay, my intention was to stick them in third cruiser division, a division I specifically created for these ships. But given that I only have one completed, and that first cruiser and second cruiser both lost a cruiser this war, I'm thinking about sticking her in one of them.
mhm.
Oh, our new naval patrol aircraft can carry less bomb load than projected. Ooh, Britain's having rebels. Lose a sub. Sink an enemy sub. We sink another enemy sub. Having blockade issues. An enemy is sinking merchants. Too few destroyers in Northern Europe. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, probably should get a new aircraft type requested. It's been a little while. What's the oldest? I got a 1925 floatplane scout. Fighter. A torpedo bomber is from 1924, but it is a C variant. I think the torpedo bomber would actually be good right now. Range speed. Um, and Duquesne's, you can get a new commander. I think I will hold off on assigning her to a division at the moment because she's still working up. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it is really interesting to hear, about all the things in the museum ship. How many? I'm curious. How many like? What are some of the off-limit spaces like? If you have ever been in them, or off-limits to like guests, but not the museum
So
workers.
the the museum is basically available. There's stuff to see and just easily accessible. There we have a single major exhibit on third deck, below deck, the O3 level. Um, I'm sorry, not the O3 level, the third level.
Oh,
It,
good
the
job,
the
Austria. Sorry, sorry to
the way
interrupt.
you the way
Uh,
you differentiate
Never mind.
below deck and above deck is anything above the main deck you put an O in front of or a zero,
Okay,
and anything below that you just put the number. So
okay, that makes sense.
third deck is three decks down, and then the O3 deck or the O3 level is three decks up.
Yeah. Um.
But we have it up to the O5 level for guests, and then down as low as third deck.
Okay, and I
Um,
assume there's.
Anything below that, you have to have a special tour for. Um, but for example, we don't go down into the barbettes. I've never been into the barbettes of the turrets. We
Okay.
do we do have a gun tour that ends inside of turret one, inside the what we call the gun house, which is the actual turret itself.
Yeah.
We don't go any lower than that.
That's interesting. Are they just not in good enough shape? Other than obviously the exploded turret. Um.
Well, I mean that's been all that has been cleaned up for the most
Okay.
part. It's just that they're like we're actually in the long term process um of actually restoring the barbette in turret one as an exhibit so people can go into it.
Okay.
Um,
But it's not
but
done
that
yet.
is a long term goal, and that's going to be at least a couple of years before it's done. Um,
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
and for anybody who happens to know anything about the Iowa Museum right now, um, this last week we just finished um, restoring the motors so that we can actually rotate turret three, and we were able to move turret three through her entire rotation. And if you look up the USS Iowa Museum YouTube channel, you will find a video there that says "Turning Turret 3," and
Yep.
you can watch it move.
Yeah, it was released for us in the like a couple days ago, right?
Yeah,
That was pretty cool. All right, so
it was uploaded the same day that we did it, which was
yeah,
pretty awesome.
so Austria is okay. So what happened? One of my subs hit or not subs. One of my cruisers hit a mine. One of my battle cruisers also was damaged. But it looks like Austria is really pissing everyone off by sinking merchant ships right now. Um, I'm not really seeing the tension go particularly high, but I am seeing tensions with Italy dropping, so hopefully, they can force Italy in on, my side. And rest
Hmm.
levels slowly ticking up due to the sub issues, and that is Nantes damaged, which I can give her the same rebuild as Dunkirk. Man, my battlecruiser fleet's just being worn down gradually by these Austro-Hungarian submarines. I think I need to get more minesweepers in service too.
Hmm.
Oh god. This is still a very, very difficult war. Um, and honestly, somehow I think Austria's doing the most to win it for them. Let me halt Chanzi. Okay, so my thought is I'm going to develop a separate version of this 300-ton Corvette with minesweeping gear. This new name. There we go. So the minesweeping ones will be just something where I can spam them out onto or spam them into a theater.
All right.
I'll build. I'll build four of them. They're not gonna have much ASW value, but being able to minesweep is gonna be helpful. Still need to get just a victory over Austria, but the problem is like they don't they keep damaging my all my battle cruisers, and they lost another I think I lost an old colonial Corvette there. I will move. I actually think I need to move like 2 minesweepers into the Mediterranean just because I'm having so many issues there. Okay. Um, yeah, and going back to the whole combat mission thing, that is actually really interesting. When you say what kind of game it is, I'm assuming like strategy is? I haven't played it, obviously. Um,
So yeah, it's a strategy game. Um, it can be played a couple of different ways actually. It can be played in real time, like any other
okay,
RTS. But where the real value for Combat Mission, in my opinion, and for a lot of the folks who play Combat Mission on the regular, it's in turn based.
okay,
And the way that works is that it uses what's called a WeGo system. So most uh, most of the time when you think turn based, you think of a an I go you go system
yeah,
where I make my move, I make my attacks, like I play my cards, etc. Or I do my powers, or depending on whatever game you're playing, and then I end my turn, and then you do your thing. But with WeGo, both players give their orders in a movement phase, or in a turn, or in a an orders phase, and then when both players are ready, the turn is played out in real time over the course of a minute. So both players' orders are executed at the same time,
yeah.
which is pretty cool because it means that you're not getting weird situations where a unit is just sitting there getting shot at because it's not their turn.
Yeah. We honestly, I do think WeGo is a pretty good system. I mean, technically, the way Rule of Waves kind of works, I think it is kind of like a WeGo
Yeah, it's
system.
basically a WeGo system between you and the AI.
Yes.
You're executing orders and every few seconds or so, or
Yep.
every few minutes in game time,
I
you're
th I think in or
adjusting your orders on the fly.
yeah. Well, I think time elapsed is actually a single minute. So if I press spacebar and the ships move, that's 1 minute in
Okay,
game. The game simulates it by minute, unless of course I do something like
that's
this.
slow.
No, not only press slow, I am repeatedly pressing space right now. This is an interesting little game bug where
Oh,
yeah, it only elapsed 1 minute. My ship's just like massively jumped ahead in a single minute.
oh, that sounds
Yep.
a little strange.
There is some jank code in this. I guess we've Philadelphia experimented our ships, but
Yeah, no kidding.
okay, I'm trying to get reports. I guarantee there's an enemy carrier out here. The question is where.
You going after a convoy here?
Uh, Coastal raid against Britain.
Okay.
I got my armored cruisers out, my old ones. One division, so that's Victor Hugo, Leon Gambetta. These were built. Oof. These were like what 1904, 1905-ish,
Okay.
1903 in terms of their completion date. Okay, there's an enemy force. So there are enemy heavy cruisers about right now. There's probably, given that I have my CVs deployed, they probably have theirs. If the carriers are launching into the wind, they'd be going kind of up. Not up, but east and up. East northeast. So they'd actually sail vaguely into this. And landing time is gonna be at dusk, but I think I gotta launch anyway. Yeah, I think the primary target I need to hit right now is the enemy CV, if I can find it. But I think it is gonna be like right around there. And if it's not right around there, well, that strike can still similar stuff. Okay, so the CV is pretty close. They would ideally be able to find it. First strike underway. I believe that is it strike. Yes, that is, but that is way less planes than I expected. That's weird. Um, a first strike appears to be underway from the carriers. Yeah, second strike is now taking off. Well, taken off and is also moving. Found merchant up here, incredibly slowly. Couple zeppelins on recon. It's not strike zeppelins. But yeah, a combat mission does sound interesting. Maybe I should try it. Like obviously not the version you have. Not not the government
Yeah, you're not going to
version.
get access to the professional edition.
Yeah, like the
I can't actually tell you exactly how I got it. Um,
yeah, that
all I can
is
say is that I've
fair.
just been given access.
That is completely fair.
Um, but yes,
Like the
there's a number of combat mission titles. There's a bunch of World War II titles, and then there are 3 modern-ish titles. So there's for the World War II titles, there's Battle for Normandy, Red Thunder, Final Blitzkrieg, and Fortress Italy. Um, and then for the more modern titles, there's Combat Mission Cold War, Shock Force 2, and Black Sea. Um, Battle for Normandy, Black Sea, Cold War, Red Thunder, and Shock Force 2 are already released on Steam.
okay.
And they're in the process of bringing in the rest of the World War II titles to Steam. And Matrix is actually doing that.
Okay. I should probably give that or give those a try at some point.
Yeah, they are very different to your average simulator. But I want to emphasize for anybody who's interested in trying them out, these are simulators. They are meant to be hard. It is entirely possible to do everything right and still fail.
Yeah.
Because like while winning is nice, the point is to teach to teach you a lesson. Like here is how, like, if you're playing in Normandy, here is how you handle a company-sized U.S. rifle element. And the depending on which title you get is going to cover a different period of World War II or a different time period in the modern era.
Hit by bomb.
So Cold War, for example, covers a Cold War gone hot scenario in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
In the Fulda Gap area of West Germany.
Yeah.
Shock Force 2 is basically the War on Terror. So lots of counterinsurgency operations. And it's more a case of like Blue 4 beating down an Arab power, in this case a hypothetical NATO invasion of Syria.
Okay.
And then finally Black Sea suddenly became very relevant last year.
Oh yeah.
Because Black Sea was made in 2014 by the developers to reflect a potential 2017 conflict where Russia invades Ukraine and the U.S. intervenes on Ukraine's behalf.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty relevant.
Yeah. Um, so you've got in Black Sea, you've got a hypothetical U.S. 2017 U.S. Army fighting a hypothetical 2017 Russian army, with the Ukrainians fighting alongside the Americans. So it is not meant to reflect the current conflict. This was, as the old King of the Hill quote goes, this was before we knew the Russians were incompetent. And I'm sorry, that's the truth.
Yeah, they are.
Um, so the
Oh,
Ukrainians
god
like,
damn it.
ooh, ow, that doesn't look good.
600 pound. Okay, it didn't do anything, but I got level bombed by Zeppelins. Okay,
You
come
should
on.
you should shoot them down.
Mm, I need my carriers to regroup. We're busy recovering aircraft. It seemed like I saw an enemy cruiser group operating somewhere near Cherbourg.
Hmm.
It looks like I have successfully completed my mission. But I probably want to keep my ships out just to make sure that stuff stays with the carrier group. At least
That
until,
that poor DD is just out all the way out on its own there off to the right.
yeah, they get lost. I know we torpedoed, we got 2 aerial torpedoes into something. Oh god.
Airships.
Night bombing, night bombing from airships, that's annoying. Britain has way too many Zeppelins.
Eh,
Has Britain become the Germany of this timeline?
perhaps.
Briefly encountered something else because I saw the game speed slow down. But what are my carriers doing? What are you guys? Are they recovering or? Oh, they're going off in a really weird direction. Going on that course. Something sees something. Something no longer sees something. Oh shit. Yep. Okay. God damn it. And okay. That aircraft carrier is now on fire because Zeppelins. Okay. So, and I'm gonna have to order you guys to stop being support and go to being a core group on my cruiser, so you actually come in closer. Good news is it looks like she did get the flooding under control.
And you don't want to lose the carrier.
Yeah. What are the carriers doing? It's like they're constantly having to recover aircraft or something. They're moving really weirdly. Yeah, sure. It's gonna be daytime soon. The question is, do I want to try to launch another strike? Yeah, I'll get a strike ready. Target any. See what my search planes can find. Oh, hey, the motor torpedo boat squadrons are off of Dunkirk. Report of a destroyer. 3 destroyers. Okay. More merchant reports. Looks like we're not getting reports of an enemy fleet anywhere. It's just other stuff. So I think I'm just gonna launch uncoordinated strikes at any target. Oh, doesn't have the range. Oh, yeah, no, both of them don't have the range. So I guess I will just launch there. Other carrier should still be readying up for airstrike. I swear I readied up planes on Glor. Uh, yeah, okay, they're not readying up. Or they're taking a while, probably because she's damaged. I will go to a heavier cap just to make sure that, you know, if they do send a strike at me, it's not as bad. Man, I gotta deal with those night zeppelins. Okay, I think the current goal is just to get into port. They're reporting bombing a CL and a BB, and I'm very, very suspicious of that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay, they're reporting destroyer. I think that's probably closer to what you're actually torpedo bombing.
I always found it funny when I was going after convoys and they would classify the convoys as CVs. Like, no.
They're very hopeful.
that,
I almost
that
think
is a
that.
transport.
Yeah, I almost think the main British force kind of went into port, so I've just gone into port. Oh, that was the enemy carrier we torpedoed
Very
at night.
nice.
Didn't bag her, but yeah, she took one torpedo hit and got the flooding under control. Yeah, forced her into port, damaged her for a bit. Of course, Glor took the 600-pound bomb hits from airships. Victor Hugo took a 500-pound bomb hit from a patrol bomber and then a 600-pound bomb from an airship. Merchant boarded and scuttled. I do just kind of quickly run through these. Yeah, boarded and scuttled 2 merchants and then ran down 2 little corvettes. Oh god. That's a 300-ton ship, a 300-ton ship being hit by 8-inch high explosive.
Ouch.
I would not want to be on that.
No?
That sounds like a bad day.
Yeah, I think that classifies. Or I think that qualifies.
Yeah. Um, nuclear bombers, coughing baby. Battle of Isle of Wight. So small
Rise
victory.
nuclear bombs.
Yeah, small victory over Britain. Not quite what we need. Nancy's back in service. 11 corvettes are recommissioned or commissioned in the Navy. Reloads for deck mounted tubes. Awesome. Rebels in the okay, British get rid of the rebels. But Hainan defeated US rebels. We lose the Antilles. Sub. Sink a sub, sink a sub, sink a sub. So you just sink like 8, 9, 9 subs, I think. France is now damaged. US loses a battlecruiser to Russia.
Hey.
Awesome. Um, and immediately afterwards, Russia loses a battlecruiser to the US. God damn it.
Incredible.
Yeah, 9 enemy subs sunk, so we're gonna better. Oh, one of our guys completed a pilot's course and has shown great enthusiasm for carriers, so he's an aviator. Below average, but he is an aviator. That's yeah, something in the future where we could put him on something good. Or something okay. Maybe an older carrier. Assign admirals past his prime. Okay, that's certainly good. These 3 cruisers now have all their commanders promoted. And the thing I need to do now is put all these corvettes on trade protection. I feel like the correct call right now is to probably build another 4 of the minesweeping corvettes and then another 4 of the sub-hunting corvettes.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'd also like to get another destroyer laid down too, just to kind of keep those joining the navy
Mhm.
replacements. Um, our relations right now. Oh, Italy is getting more pissed off with Britain. We might get Italy as an ally here too. Be a really really good situation. I think I can assign Duquesne to. She'd okay. The thing is, she'd be faster in first cruiser division. I think I assign her to first cruiser. Um, for now. A new commander. Older. These are Degoitrois class, so anyone who's not fine. Obviously, I don't want the incompetent people. So, CF Prevost? This guy. Move him up. Yeah, I think I'll move the guys from the Troud class cruisers up. One sends here. Then, net. Net. Oh, hold on, you didn't sign? That guy. Okay. The It's from the older cruisers, so four. Okay, grab Barad. You grab Sala. I'm just kind of moving my commanders up, I think, to better ships. The ones which are average. Guess I'll grab Churchill. You can get. Oh God. Um, we got a bunch of below average guys now, so I think I'm at the point where I just have to use some of my unknowns. Unless I have like an average on a coastal destroyer division, which I don't. Oh well. Don't like having unknowns, but we'll learn about them. Cruisers.
Yep.
I know this is going on for an hour. You want to try to do like one more battle or?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. Hopefully it's good because I need a really good battle against Austria. Okay, France is already updated, so no point in refitting her, even though she's out for 5 months because everything keeps striking mines. There we go, finally! Hopefully something good against Austria. And in summer, so, longer days.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Okay, I feel it's, oh god, it's night, okay, it's nighttime. It's almost daytime. It's almost daytime. I almost feel it's too late to mention this in the introduction. Before you got distracted, I was gonna say that you used to do very funny War Thunder videos, but I know that you kind of don't do War Thunder. I would say
Yeah.
videos, but kind of like at all anymore, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't do War Thunder anymore.
God.
Mainly just because like my interests have moved on.
Yeah.
Um,
It
I
is,
I, I decided about a year and a half ago that I really just wanted to do content that I wanted to do,
yeah,
not that I felt like I had to do.
and that's fair. That's very fair. And not only that, it is probably better for your sanity to just not play War Thunder.
I mean, it's one of those things where I played War Thunder for 10 years. I had a wonderful time for the most part.
Oh God.
Oh boy, you really ran into a
Yeah.
whole squadron of them.
That's probably Austrian battleships there.
Yeah,
Or battle
probably.
cruisers. Oh God, Cutlass is. That's bad. She's not in a she's not in a good way. Um, Goal right now is to not get my battle division torpedoed.
Yeah.
Not get second battle division torpedoed. Um, okay, we got a reported battle cruiser there.
DD is probably launching torpedoes at you.
Yep.
Lucina.
Yep, that one probably is. I think the goal would be to pull this way. Pull kind of away right now. That is an enemy BB. Okay, that's their strong one. Oh, she has more armor than we thought, and she's 21 knots. Okay, so we're underestimating this ship. That is actually scarier.
Hmm.
Um, what the hell's over there? Oh, we got something else. We got something else shooting at us here. Um, nope, those are destroyers. Oh, I thought I turned these guys around. Oops.
I'm
Enemy
assuming that you play on Admiral mode, right?
rear admiral. So, okay, it looks like we have sunk an enemy destroyer. Not quite what I wanted, but you know, sight range will increase here very soon. Okay, and there we go. We get full sight range at the exact moment we are crossing the T of the enemy battleship formation.
Very good.
Now, admittedly, they have turned away, so now you know we're no longer crossing the T. But okay, they're turning broadside onto us, but we've still got good fight. Oh, that's
Very
excellent.
nice.
Destroyed one of our turrets.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad though that we missed like every torpedo shot against their battleships.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fortunate that their battle line didn't take more damage.
yeah. The good news is that currently, you know, it seems like we're shooting them, and the hits which are hitting us really aren't doing much. Apparently Mirabeau, a 12-inch hit which did not go through her belt, so belt armor on the Charlemagne's is holding up. Oh, there we go. That's a good turn. Yeah, three
Huh.
14s into that ship, and then looks like we get a 14 into each of the other ones.
Very good.
Another 14 into her. I mean, okay, we're only going to be scoring 14-inch hits here, because that's what the Charlemagne's have. Okay, Charlemagne lost one of her fire control, one of her directors. So, okay, so the fire control director, that's both the rangefinder and, like, all the plotting stuff, correct? Or not plot, I guess.
Not well. It can include those things. The fire director is mainly there to, well, direct the fire
Yeah.
of a group of weapons onto a target.
Yeah, so it's taking in, I assume, like, the range finding inputs, or whoever it
Yeah,
is taking in the
so
range finding inputs.
it'll take in range finding data. It'll take into account if you later on once you get radar, you'll get
Yeah.
radar directors and so on.
Yeah.
Um, I think the last stuff that you unlock are like electro opticals or something like that, or advanced electro optical directors.
In real waves, yeah. Um, and that's the last thing you get. I was just trying to make sure, you know, what they were in real life. Because in my mind, it's like, oh, you know, the visual part is the rangefinder. But no, there's obviously more than that. There's a reason they're called directors. Oh god, that destroyer's in torpedo range. Well, in our torpedo range. I don't know what Austria's torpedo range is. I mean, good news is right now, it looks like we are winning. They're running away. And I'm gonna chase. Oh, they're no longer running away. Yeah, I'm landing more hits than, you know, they are. This is a very lopsided engagement so far, and even when they are landing hits, it doesn't seem like they're having any much of an effect. Uh, that did some structure damage. Oh, nice. That destroyer just went. That destroyer is sinking.
Oh, very nice.
Just scored like two 5-inch hits on her. She looked fine. She's dead in the water and having another destroyer come over to rescue survivors.
You've sunk at least what, 2 destroyers now?
Yep. Okay, Charlemagne takes a melt upper hit. Does not look like it did much. We've destroyed the turret on that ship, so two of their battleships have destroyed turrets at the very least. I don't know if their third one does.
They're taking a heck of a mauling here.
Yeah. Honestly, the more destroyers of theirs I can put down, the closer I can probably get. And the closer I can get, the more damage I can do with my battleships. Of course, the more damage they can also do, but, you know, I like to armor my battleships well.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
getting
still
close.
very pleased with one of the wars I got into in my World of Ways game is the U.S. I got into a war with Russia, um, in on off the coast of Japan, basically in the Sea of Tsushima,
Yeah.
and in a series of about 3 or 4 battles, I managed to wipe out the entire Russian battleship and battlecruiser fleet. And so I basically just spent the rest of the war sailing my battleships up and down the eastern coast near Vladivostok, just sinking Russian merchant convoys with impunity.
That's
Um,
always fun when you just knock out all the enemy capital ships.
yeah, I bodied them so hard that the Tsar was executed and they went communist.
Ah, yes, typical
Yeah.
Russian history. Okay, those are enemy destroyers charging me. They're no longer charging me. Lost sight of the enemy battleship because apparently we're in rain. Trying to keep maneuvering my battleships around so that this destroyer doesn't get a good torpedo solution, or more specifically, so that the destroyer fires torpedoes and misses.
Mhm.
That's what you want. Oh, yep. What? God damn it! The sighting range is just going down. I am not getting like any good luck with these Mediterranean battles. Um, oh, we found something over there. God, okay, cruise speed. I'm gonna divert away because the day sighting range is 5,000 yards.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm gonna actively wait till the weather improves to try to continue engagement. Okay, it's starting to get better. 7,000 yards now. Yes. And now the weather's actually okay. Where the hell are they? No, it looks like we lost them all. God damn it. Austrian ships have a habit of, using the weather and daylight to just get away. I don't know what the hell's going on in the Mediterranean, but not great. It's a victory, but man, I haven't been getting the sinking enemy ships victory. She was on 102 flooding. Oh, leaks in aging structure increase flooding. Okay.
Damn,
Uh,
you really messed her up
Yeah,
pretty bad.
yeah. Putting 14s on a lot of 14s on her. Aging structure increase flooding there, but didn't go down. Ship lightly damaged. We did disable our machinery at some point. Looks like destroyed the turret. We're penning. We're penning. Zog Carl. That's probably completely mispronounced. Butchered. In the most extreme way possible. Okay, so we did destroy a turret on all three ships. This one was a little bit less damaged. Show some my coal bunker. Okay, they're still using coal. Um, I keep saying like they're still using coal, like I didn't switch over to oil in 1908.
Right. I mean,
Like,
even still, this is like the mid 20s, and they're still using coal. So
yeah.
like that doesn't say anything about their designs. I don't know what does.
Yeah. I mean, those are, probably 15, 20-year-old designs, but still, I'm sitting there having switched to oil firing, like, on my first dreadnought, you know.
Right.
My last coal-fired, my last coal-fired ships were pre-dreads, basically.
Hmm.
Okay, so this destroyer we sank, just a lot of fire. A Tiger class. I'm wondering if it was the other one which got, yeah, okay, this one got hit less. So yeah, this was one where she just takes two 5-inch hits at the same time and just sinks, but she was already damaged before that.
Hmm.
Um, Good to knock out a couple destroyers of theirs though. Marabou, 12-inch and a 15-inch didn't really do much. Charlemagne, six heavy hits on Charlemagne, and she just shrugged them off.
Damn.
I will, I will take that.
Yeah, definitely.
Non-pen, secbat hit, damage, yeah, nothing much. Okay, so this destroyer was the one we torpedoed, but she somehow survived. Good job, Austrian crew, I guess. Cutlass somehow also survived, taking a 15-inch high explosive waterline hit
Hmm.
on a destroyer.
That's ouch.
Whatever captain's in charge of this ship gets a medal.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Lucina, some 6, some 5s into her. Okay, yeah, this is kind of the point where the ships are a lot less damaged.
Hmm.
Still not the battle I want. That'll probably have to be for next episode at this point. I am disappointed that the Austro-Hungarian Navy is not dying like the British Navy. 2 destroyers is good, but man, I need a decisive victory here. Okay, yeah, nothing else. Yeah, nothing else got shot as far as I can tell. Air didn't really do anything, so failed. Drivers picked up. You win. Okay, yeah, they were departing for Malta, it looks like.
Hmm.
They had something up there. What's up there? Okay, so one cruiser kind of goes up there. Probably the crippled destroyer, but okay, yeah, so we were chasing them there as the weather got poor, and then they turned for Malta, and we kind of kept continuing and didn't realize that they had turned, so there was no point, no chance we could catch up because I didn't know where these ships were.
Hmm.
Okay, Battle of Sirte. I mean, it's a victory, but it's not quite what we need, and it also now means that Marabou is damaged for 2 months. It'll be 1 month. Desai is back in service. Kent is back in service. 4 corvettes are commissioned. Expanses in ship design. Lost a destroyer. Britain lost an AV. And no subs. Get any subs? Italy's entered the war on our side.
Yay.
Well, I think this is officially a world war now.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, I'd say so.
okay, so I think just quick management here. Give a new commander to this cruiser. Do I have any good commanders? That's on that guy's on another Dugoy class. So I guess it's just grab an average from an older cruiser like maybe that CF Charcot guy. Shroud, and then Shroud you get an unknown. Well, I think that was successful. Do need to get more ASW corvettes laid down. Just continual production line of these things.
Mm-hmm.
More on trade protection just to get that ASW value up and hopefully just put a severe dent into the Austro-Hungarian and oh god, Britain has 92 subs building. Eventual British submarine force. What does Italy have? They have 37. Okay. Um, they'll be able to ride me more against Austria. So yeah, this is a war. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Miles, on
You're
this.
very welcome.
I'm glad to have you on, and yeah, no, it is cool to kind of just talk about stuff, discuss stuff, and hear a little bit about what you're doing in the future too.
Yeah, yeah. There's some exciting things going on, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and plus, hearing about Battleship Iowa.
Yep.
And
Hopefully, I'll have more news next time.
operations. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining. Everyone who watched this, thank you very much for watching. Links to my Discord, Twitch, and that other site that is actively being like self-sabotaged right now and dying are down below. You can join the Discord for notifications on videos and the very rare live streams, and Twitch would be where I do non-Roll the Waves live streams. Obviously, you're on YouTube, so you know all the YouTube stuff if you're watching this. And there will also be a link to a community Rule the Waves Discord server down below. It is not actually official, but officially recognized. Best way to describe it. Besides that, I once again have to thank Naval Warfare Simulations, Matrix Games, and Slytherin Games for giving me the free key for this for the video. I will thank them profusely. I still need to do a key giveaway at some point. I have not done that yet. I am procrastinating. I'm sorry. Oh,
Go away.
procrastinating and don't have time.
Go
I
away.
need time. Oh, that's it.
All
Bye!
right. Bye.